Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2-ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Sesame, Turnkey. Political violence is bad, and I don't like watching videos of people getting shot in the neck without my consent, which is what someone did on Facebook earlier, and it made me feel really bad. Not because I like the guy, but because I don't like watching people getting killed. And Carta.
Well, if you don't like watching people getting killed, you should probably not watch The Monkey.
That's fiction. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Yeah. So, this will probably come out like a month after the incident happened, but sadly, a political commentator was shot the day that we recorded this and killed. That's kind of a bummer on the world. Even though I didn't like the guy, it still sucks when anybody is shot by a gun, which we should have better control over in this country. Anyways, so with that being said, I'm not going to dwell on that. We're going to talk about a horror film where a bunch of people unfortunately die. Yes, it is the 2025 film called The Monkey. The short synopsis here on the Internet Movie Database is: when twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. Then more happens, but that's all they have listed.
Yeah, okay.
That's all it says.
Yeah, that's the whole movie.
And then we run the credits. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, this movie was directed by Osgood Perkins, who directed Long Legs and some other movies, and is also the son of Norman Bates himself, Anthony Perkins. So, which is interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. This was written by Osgood Perkins, based on the short story by Stephen King from the Skeleton Crew collection of stories. Yes, the film stars Theo James as Hal and Bill as adults, the twins. And we got Tatiana Maslany as Lois, their mom. Christian Convery as young Hal and young Bill. We got Colin O'Brien as Petey, Hal's son. We've got Adam Scott as Captain Petey Selborne, the twins' father, absentee father. We've got Elijah Wood as Ted. We've got Rohan Campbell from Halloween Ends as Thrasher. We've got Sarah Levy as Aunt Ida. We've got Osgood Perkins himself as Uncle Chip. We've got Tess Degenstein as Barbara, Danica Dreyer, as Babysitter Annie, and many more. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. For one thing, I love the name Uncle Chip. It just has such a 19 vibe to it, or maybe late 70s. And also, but not only that, the guy looks like such an Uncle Chip. Like when I saw that, I'm like, of course that's his name.
He's played by the director, Osgood Perkins. So
looked like anyone else, And it's like Uncle, that does not sound right, Uncle Chip. That sounds like the wrong name for that person. When you see this guy with the sideburns, I'm like, okay, that's definitely an Uncle Chip guy. Like there's no question about that.
In the book, he was named. I believe he wasn't named Chip. He was like named something else, like some other name, and but they chose Chip for the movie, which I think is cool.
It does have a vibe to it. Really does,
because the short story is a lot different than the movie in certain ways. But like Bill and Hal are not twins. Bill's just an older brother to Hal. So yeah, it's more told just through Hal's point of view. Yeah. So what is your initial reaction to this movie here, Sesame?
I didn't really like it that much, to be honest. It had parts that were okay, but I don't know. Like I don't like gore, for one thing. That could be it too. Gore and horror. I like horror movies from like the 70s, like in the 60s, like before the violence became like super gruesome. And so I gotta watch a scary movie. It's gonna be from that era or like something that's like in that style. So that's just for me right there. But it just could be too of just like the mood I've been in lately. Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. So I don't know.
I liked the first half of this movie, kind of hated the end of the movie. So that's how I feel. So yeah. I think the ending to the short story is better than the ending we have here. That's my feeling on it. So yeah. In certain ways, but I do understand like the kind of like the metaphors throughout the movie too are kind of interesting, but but yeah, I will agree. I don't like the gore. I mean, even though I do like some gory movies, and I mean, I love this had kind of a Final Destination feel to it, but I also Final Destination isn't quite as gory, but it is at certain points. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of one of those, you know, I actually wish more of the deaths would have been more like Final Destination. That's why I liked that's kind of in the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, what goes down in this movie?
So we kind of have like, it starts like with a flashback kind of. This guy, he works as a pilot for an airline company, and he's trying to return or sell like this monkey kind of toy, but not really a toy kind of thing. And he's got blood like all over his neck, it looks like already, and shit like that. And he's like, whatever you do, don't let the drum, cause it's got like a drum. It's like a monkey with the drumstick. And like, whatever you do, don't let the drum hit the snare, or you know, something terrible is going to happen. And so, you know, the thing drums, and the guy's like, oh, I feel fine. But then something happened where like a arrow shot through him or something like a fish.
It was a harpoon gun. Yeah.
Harpoon gun had gotten loose or something. Then it pulled out all of his intestines, which was my first. I'm like, okay, I don't want to look at that stuff. But like, and so the guy melts him with a flamethrower. So I'm thinking, okay, how can this monkey come back to life from a flamethrower? But apparently it did. And it's in the closets of the kids, his kids. And one of them just pulls it out, I guess, or something. And
basically, he kind of like abandons his family because of this, but I don't understand how or why the monkey was left with his stuff. Because if the point was to like maybe protect your family from things or something, or maybe he was just didn't give a shit and he was like narcissistic about the situation. It's hard to say what his motivation was.
Well, no, because the very first scene though shows him hitting it with a flamethrower, melting it. That's their dad. So
no, I know. What I'm saying is, why did he then like? I'm just trying to figure out if he left the monkey there, like even after it came back to life, or if the monkey found its way to his family. Like, is it attached to this family now, or what? You know?
Well, I think it is, because I was confused first, but because later on, Mark, he cuts the monkey into a bunch of pieces and throws it in the trash.
Bill. Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened there. And so like Mark, he's like technically like just like a few minutes younger than Bill. They're twins.
Hal.
Hal is younger.
Bill and Hal. There is no Mark.
Or whatever, yeah. Bill and Hal, and their mom's going to go on a date, and they have the babysitter take them to like Benihana or some kind of place like that.
Yeah.
And they just kind of showed up. Like Hal thinks Bill brought it with them, but it just was there. And the chef's kind of flirting with the babysitter by like making like a rice patty in the shape of a heart or something like that. Yeah. And Hal starts hearing like this weird circus music in the background, and then the chef like loses his knife and accidentally cuts their head off, which I'm thinking, really? Like, is that sharp of a much of pressure to do? I mean, really? Like, I don't know. Like, that seems a bit.
I mean, maybe it was like, remember those Ginsu knives that we used to sell on TV?
I mean, maybe that's what it was. But so like her head gets cut off, and yay, and so like the trauma that these two brothers have witnessed like already is just like absolutely like off the rails. So they see this poor woman get her head severed, which is someone that they were kind of somewhat close to. And then Bill is like a total piece of shit to Hal. He's always bullying him constantly. All of his friends at schools, which are all girls for some reason, which is kind of weird. They never really explain why all his friends are girls, and then why they're always picking on Hal on his behalf. Like, that's weird. I mean, like, I had a few like girl bullies when I was in school, but like not exclusively. Like, it's
just like, I don't know if they're doing that to like subvert expectations or what, So it's kind of hard to, It's like one of those things. Like, is that a step forward in progressiveness, or is that a step backwards? It's just like, I don't know what it is.
If a shit liberal feminist, you would be like that, where it's like, we need more female drone pilots. Like, it's not really what we're thinking about. Okay, like that kind of feminism, sure, but like real, actual, like egalitarian shit like that, not so much. But unfortunately, liberals ruin everything. So they're like, no, we want more black billionaires who are gonna ruin the environment. Yay, progress. Is like, maybe not have any billionaires. I don't know. Okay, off point here, but and so these poor kids, they witness this thing happening. Bill pushes Hal to the edge because he has these girls like take a bunch of bananas and just like pelt him with like hundreds of bananas. And so he comes home just like completely.
Yeah. They made him take off his pants too or something. Yeah.
That was a day, or like that was early, like another day or something. And like they were in the boys' room. So apparently it's okay now to be in different gender bathrooms, whatever, which fine, whatever.
I guess it was okay in 1999. I don't know. I graduated in 96, so I don't know what school was like after that.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't care. But like, so they pelt him with these bananas. He's furious. So he goes to the monkey, and he kind of figures out that the monkey can kill people by them. And so he is really angry at the monkey. He turns the key, and he says that he wants the monkey to kill Bill. Kill Bill. That's interesting.
Yes, this was actually Kill Bill Part 3. You didn't know that.
Yeah. Alternate timeline. Yeah. When he's just a kid. But so he asked the monkey, not Uma Thurman, to kill Bill, but the monkey decides to kill him.
That's the thing, actually. Little known fact: the monkey was actually played by Uma Thurman. She went through like reconstructive surgery on her face and everything to make herself look like the monkey. It's a little known fact.
All right, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, but
I'm joking. Yeah,
I know, I'm just kidding. So yeah, I mean that's what happened. The monkey killed their mother. She was making cake, desserts, and she had like a brain aneurysm or something like that.
Yeah,
and she died. Bill
right in front of Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill came home from school, and he's the one who actually witnessed it. So that like totally fucked with his mind a lot. He kind of figured out pretty early on that Hal was pretty much asked the monkey to kill him. That's what happened. And so, they went to her funeral. It's pretty sad. Bill was like in straight up denial. He thought it was just like some elaborate prank that her mom pulled on them because they kind of were like a weird family like that. So. Would be something that she would do, which is like kind of crazy.
And at both these funerals, the priest is like a stoner.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. He's just like totally like, yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
No, man, it is what it is and stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? And so, now they're going to be raised by their aunt and uncle.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Uncle Chip and Aunt what's her name? Ida. Yeah.
Which one? Do you know which one was actually related to their mom though? Because I don't know. I
didn't understand that because I don't know if the uncle was or not. And it's like I know it was the uncle Chip's like telling Bill like sits him down on the stairs and tells him like, oh, not really, we never really wanted kids and all this other stuff. And it's just
he's like we're swingers too and stuff like that. He's like yeah, we're gonna do the best we can with you boys, but it's probably gonna still be pretty bad or something like that. At least he's being honest.
I know. My thing is like, how did they end up with, it's like, I mean, maybe they were just the next of kin, so they had to, but it's like, I don't know. I just know I never personally planned to have kids, but I knew if I did have kids, I would make sure that I found somebody and put it in like a will or a document that if I die, those kids go to this person who I actually trust and is a good parent or something, not like just some random relative.
No, yeah, exactly. I know. It's just wild to me, and so yeah, that's kind of where we leave off a little bit. They take the monkey, they put it back in its little case, and they put a chain over it, and they chuck it into a deep well.
First off, like they thought they destroyed the monkey, and it reappeared. Yeah. When they got to the aunt and uncle's house. So yeah,
because that's right. Hal cut it to pieces, but it had like this like liquid and shit, like it was alive, like it had blood or something.
I'm trying to remember if it was Hal or Bill. Now I'm confusing myself, so I don't know. It was Hal. Yeah, it was Hal that tried to do it. I thought it was Bill, but I guess it's Hal. I'm reading the synopsis here. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
They check the well, and then we get fast forward to in the future where
25 years later.
Yeah, where Hal was kind of doing the same thing that his father did by staying away from his kid. My whole thing with this, though, with these kind of movies or stories, what I don't get is like, okay, we get it. Like the story's going to sound crazy, but like, why not just be honest from the get-go instead of like having to like drag out this drama of being like, hey, I know how crazy it's going to sound. I'm only telling you because I think it's the truth. So do what you want to do with the information. But here it is. I think this monkey is possessed. And I think that if I'm close to people, it's going to kill the people I'm close to. Whether or not they believe it, that's one thing. But isn't that better than just leaving? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
my thing, too, is like, okay, if you know this ahead of time, I would be extra careful to never have a kid.
Right. Or just be around anyone.
Yeah.
Be around and come close to anyone, which I know sucks. But if that's truly what you believe, though, why would you even get a girlfriend or a wife or whatever if you think that that's just, you know what I mean? It'd be possible.
Be celibate and don't ever make any friends and find a work-at-home job or something. I'm just saying.
I know it's terrible, but it's just like if that's what you actually think. Why would you then have kids? But anyway. But like again, like with these, like, cause like there's lots of stories like this where it's like I had to get away because people die around me or whatever. It's like truly what you believe, then just be honest and tell that to the person. And if that person either could just like reject what you say, think that you're lying because you wanted them, or they'd be like, hey, let's work through this. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I'm willing to take the risk because I care about you. So like, don't just leave because you think that that's like you're doing what's best for all of us. It's like, God forbid anyone date, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, I might be reading some into this, like the theories or whatever, but Osgood Perkins' dad was Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates in Psycho, and so who was in the closet for much of his life. He was a gay man.
Okay,
went off to have a family. He had a couple sons at least, and and stuff like that. I could see this being like almost a metaphor for that in certain ways, where it's the whole thing where I'm trying to hide who I am. So I pretend to be straight. And plus in society, you had to be at that time where, like you're trying to protect people from the stuff that could be thrust upon you, whether it be, you know, the evil of the monkey in this movie, or it could be the whole, you know, society not accepting homosexuality and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it could have been, who knows with these things, there's usually lots of analogies and metaphors for things. Sure. Excuse me. And then we get into the future. He's working at like a superstore, like a kind of like a, not really a gas station, but like a small store, like maybe like a drugstore or something like, and you know, just kind of like, you know, boring life, boring job, that whole, you know, motif or whatever. And then he asks his boss, who's like this complete stoner guy. Everyone's a stoner in this movie apparently. And it's like, oh, it sucks, man. You got a kid? He's like, yeah. He's like, you only get to see him once a year. He's like, yeah. He's like, that sucks, man. He's like, oh no, it's actually my idea to do it the once a year thing. It's like, he's like, you know, I think it's better, you know, for everyone and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god. And anyway, so where do we pick up from?
So basically, at this point, you know, Hal is still pretty paranoid about the monkey and stuff and about his past. He has an estranged wife and a son named Petey, who he named after his dad. Why you would name the kid after your estranged father is beyond me, but whatever.
Especially if you're going to be the second estranged father.
Yeah. It's like, why would you?
Like, and I'm abandoning you via my son, you know, whatever. It's like your son of the serpent, your hatred for your father. Yeah, it's terrible.
So his ex-wife is now remarried to like this guru type guy played by Elijah Wood. So like Frodo's in this movie. Anyway, so the
yep. He's like a total
dick. Yeah. So they want to like fully adopt Petey, and then effectively like completely cutting Hal out of his life. So this is like happening, and then there's a situation where he wants to like take Petey. Petey overhears the thing, I guess, so that he was going to be adopted. Yeah. So we find out that Aunt Ida is killed in a freak accident. So Bill ends up calling Hal, and he's like suspecting that the monkey may have returned, and he's telling Hal, you know, you need to go to the house and take care of shit, you know, after Aunt Ida died. So then he's at this he's at a hotel in this motel, and this woman explodes in an electrified pool. I
knew I was gonna happen, but I was like, oh great, here she goes.
See, that's what I liked about the almost like the Rube Goldberg effect of a lot of the deaths earlier in the movie, where you could see them coming. I like it when that happens. Like that's what I liked about like the Final Destination things, where you could see it happening, and then they would subvert it sometimes, you know, too. But it was, you know, it's like they kind of gave that up halfway through this movie, though. So where people are just randomly dying and there's no like build up to it. Because I like the tension more than I like the actual deaths. You know, that's just how I am as a person. I like the foreplay more than the sex. No, I'm joking.
Before the killing? Wait, what?
I'm just joking. No,
I'm kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that only happened a couple of times. But anyway, so wait, what? So they go there, and there's a real estate agent named Barbara, and she reveals that there's been like a bunch of like fatal accidents that have occurred in the town. Like, and then while she's telling him this and everything, this door opens and a falling shotgun then shoots Barbara in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hal has blood all over his body and shit. Petey's there, you know, in the car or whatever. And he comes in and he learns that, he learns that he has an uncle when Hal had actually told him that he didn't have any kids, because Petey's doing like a family history thing for school, like a family tree or whatever you want to call it. You know, sometimes they're trees, sometimes they're forests, sometimes they're just little shrubs. You know, depends on how big your family is.
I mean,
Yep. So they soon learn that Bill's been living in this town the whole time, and that now he has the monkey because he hired a guy named Ricky to retrieve it from like the yard sale.
Yeah.
he's had this like feeling in his mind for years that Hal had caused Lois's death, their mom, in an attempt to kill him. So he knew what happened, basically.
Yeah.
And so Bill wants the monkey back because he wants to retaliate.
Yeah.
But the monkey has its own plans, and it's just killing random people, you know, like it does, because, you know, it never happens to the people you want it to.
The take request. That's the whole thing. And
it's like a DJ at a wedding, you know. Sometimes they take requests, sometimes they don't.
It's a good, interesting metaphor too, if you think about it, because like monkeys are usually seen as like unruly, chaotic kind of creatures, just because they kind of are, even though that's just their nature. They're not really chaotic. It's just how they are. And so like the idea of like turning the key to a monkey to do violence, in that you don't really control what the monkey does, kind of makes sense, you know, because we're talking a lot about violence these days and political violence. And, you know, when you put a lot of hatred rhetoric out there and you're constantly talking about entire groups of people that need to be in concentration camps and they need to be sent to foreign countries with alligator pits, and, you know, or how all trans people are evil and they need to be stripped of all their guns, and how sometimes, you know, when you put out all that violent rhetoric, sometimes the violence goes off in random directions and doesn't always go, you know, in the direction that you want it to. Oh, wait, what am I referring to? Anyway. So
there's a monkey, and
there's a monkey. Yeah.
So, you know, another interesting thing is like they always talk about like the monkey on your back, like that thing that you can't get rid of, like you know, is part of your history or something, like trauma or whatever, or that monkey on your back, like the drugs you're addicted to or whatever. I think that's interesting, like metaphor too, because I think the monkey itself is kind of like your childhood trauma that you can't get rid of no matter how hard you try. Yeah.
It is interesting like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, you know, he's trying to use the monkey to retaliate, but the monkey is just killing random people. And Bill has this theory that whoever, you know, winds the key is the one who's spared.
Yeah.
So he, you know, the PD goes inside to Bill's house, and you know, Bill's also got the monkey up on this like tower of like old TVs that he built, and like
it's weird. It's like a shrine, like a monkey shrine.
Yeah, with old like TVs and shit. Yeah.
Did he also have payphones in his lair?
I think so.
Where he was calling from different payphones, so no one knew like where the actual. Which that's actually kind of smart. We should start doing that from now on. Like when we are going to be monitored constantly by the government, we should just get like payphones that we call from. And
okay, what we'll do now too for our podcast is we'll just give all of our fans the number to this payphone, and instead we'll just talk into the payphone and tell them like our thoughts on, you know, the latest Larry the Cable Guy movie or something, you know.
I mean, the quality's going to suck, but you know, sometimes you gotta make sacrifices for the cause. Sometimes
we'll repeat it to every single fan too, so it'll kind of suck after a while.
It's gonna be like Daniel Johnston, who would just like re-record his albums all over again. Yeah. So you're depending on who listens, you're going to get like a completely different. You might get the good version of our episode, or you might get the version where Mike and I both have debilitating migraine headaches and we're just not thinking straight. Depends on which. You know.
I mean, one time we might really like the movie, and then eventually we might just start to hate it. You know, you never know.
Never know, because there's been plenty of times where I like the movie, and then as we're reviewing the movie, I realize that I actually hated it. So, like for example,
I've also had the opposite happen too. So.
Example of Skateboard Kid. I loved it when I was watching it because I was high, and then I was like, the movie actually kind of sucks. Especially part 2.
Part 2 was worse. So basically, Bill decides that he's going to keep winding the the monkey until Hal is killed, no matter how many people die. Because that's fucked up.
You know, it is. It's like, it's so selfish too. It's like
he tells Hal at one point that he's going to let Petey wind it, the key. And then, you know, he decides that, you know, I'm going to keep winding it and kill more people unless you let Petey wind it now. So anyways, Ricky, who's obsessed with the monkey, he forces Petey at gunpoint. He's in the car. He forces him at gunpoint outside of Bill's house to retrieve the monkey for him in Bill's house. So while inside, Bill instructs Petey to wind the key, and then he does, and a swarm of wasps come in and kill Ricky. Hal's in the car while this happens, and so Hal then goes and enters the house, and Bill forces the monkey to drum without winding the key in a desperate attempt to kill his brother. The monkey then starts drumming uncontrollably and triggers widespread death and destruction throughout the entire town.
Yep.
Yeah. So Bill finally gives up, and they reconcile. They, shake hands and whatnot after Bill doing the thing where you go to shake somebody's hand and then they take it back and act like they're straightening up their hair or whatever. A few times.
It was annoying. You did not need to do it.
They finally reconcile though, and they basically, share the fact that they're both sad that their mom died. And but then shortly afterwards, the monkey beats its drum one last time, and Bill is suddenly decapitated by a bowling ball bearing their mother's name.
Yeah, that was so stupid. Mm-hmm. I hated that ending so much. Yeah. Like, it's so dumb. So whatever. Yeah. And
so they Hal and Petey get in the car and they take the monkey with them, and they basically accept the fact that they have to, keep the monkey forever so nobody else ever gets hurt. While they're going, like this pale black-eyed man riding a horse, which is like the pale horseman from the Bible and whatnot, passes by and acknowledges them. But he's now decided that he wants to reconnect with his son, and he suggests that they go dancing, as it's something that Lois had loved to do. And I mean, she even danced with the kids after the babysitter's funeral. So also earlier, after some of the deaths, there were always these cheerleaders that were cheering for some fucking reason in the town. At the end of the movie, the stupidest thing happens where the cheerleaders are cheering out the side of a school bus, and a truck comes by and basically decapitates all the cheerleaders.
Right, which doesn't make much sense of why cheerleaders always cheering that people are dying in their town. Mm-hmm. There's no explanation for that stuff, which fine, whatever. But I thought it was kind of stupid that there was no because again, Stephen King, he's always got this weird shit going on. Maybe the cheerleaders were possessed, or maybe weren't really there. Maybe I
don't think they're in the short story.
So. Probably not. Just makes no sense to even have, other than just being weird. Basically, it's oh, edgy. I'm going to have cheerleaders here. Isn't that so cool? Oh, I did not like it.
So in the original story, so here's the plot summary of the short story. I'm just going to read that to you really quick. Okay. The monkey follows Hal Shelburne, a man haunted by a wind-up monkey toy that seems to bring death and misfortune. The story begins when Hal's son, Petey, discovers the monkey in a box while exploring the attic of Hal's childhood home. Hal reacts with dread, recalling his childhood experiences with the toy. In a flashback, Hal remembers finding the monkey among his father's belongings in a storage closet. As a child, Hal noticed a disturbing pattern whenever the monkey clapped its cymbals, because in the book, it's the classic cymbal monkey, not the drum monkey. Calamity followed. These events included the fatal fall of Hal's childhood friend, Johnny McCabe, from a treehouse, and the death of his Aunt Ida's cat, which was run over by a car. Believing the monkey was cursed, young Hal threw it into a dry well near his home. Decades later, the monkey inexplicably resurfaces. Its reappearance unsettles Hal, who fears for the safety of his family. Determined to destroy the toy, Hal and Petey go to Crystal Lake, which is interesting because that's like Crystal Lake, Camp Crystal Lake is where Jason Voorhees lives, but I don't think that's any. I think it's just a random name that he chose. With the monkey in a flight bag weighed with rocks, Hal rows to the deepest part of Crystal Lake, where he throws the bag into the water. As the bag sinks, Hal hears the faint sound of the monkey's cymbals clapping. During the disposal, the boat starts breaking up, but Hal manages to swim ashore safely to Petey. The story ends with a newspaper clipping showing that hundreds of fish in the lake have died as a result. I think the short story is better.
Yeah, I mean, if for a short story, it works because not a movie length thing.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I'll give it this. I mean, I like Osgood Perkins' style. And I mean, the cinematography was great and the acting was all good and everything. It's just, there was something lacking from the story.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that the story isn't, it's got a deeper meaning than the short story though, but it's still, it needed something else, like some kind of punch to it that it didn't have or something, you know?
Yeah, I do know. I guess
the reason that they chose the drumming monkey instead of the cymbal monkey that was in the book is because the film producers, for some reason, believed that the Walt Disney Company owned the rights to the cymbal banging version of the toy on the basis of its appearance in Toy Story 3.
Oh, interesting.
But I guess it's been proven since then that they don't really own the rights to the toy, so they could have.
The research to even check if that was true or not.
Somebody told them that, believed it. But I mean, I think the drumming monkey works too. It doesn't matter, you know. But yeah.
It's kind of it's unique. It's a little bit different than just having the same monkey or style of monkey doing whatever its thing. But it is an interesting metaphor too, because like how the end of it where they just kind of have to accept that the monkey's just part of their family tradition. They can't get rid of it because it'll just come back, and you know, so it's kind of like
it's kind of almost like that family secret that not everybody has those, but you know, like a family secret that you have or something that only you and your family know about and you can't tell everybody else, sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. And so I kind of like that aspect too of like, you know, like, and it's kind of, it is also a metaphor too of like, even though like you have the power to do something, like you're not supposed to use it. So like technically, if they wanted to, they could just like have the monkey hit the thing and anyone random person could die based on their action. So it's like it gives them like incredible, like they can't choose who dies, but they still have incredible power that someone will die if they do turn the key. And then to not use that power, that kind of gives you a sense of like control, like discipline in your own life. Like I could do this. Again, like I have the power. If I'm a pretty good speaker, I'm not the best, but I'm a pretty good orator. I'm pretty good at getting my thoughts across. If I wanted to, I could say like, "Hey, I hate this group of people. I think they're horrible. I think they shouldn't have rights. I think that other people should attack them." I can get people really rallied up and stuff. But, you know, when I put that out there, the violence doesn't always choose where, you know, you get strays here and there. Sometimes the violence might come back to me without me really knowing it or intending it to be so, but it could happen. So it's like you got that power, but maybe you don't use it at all. Like maybe not even for good. Maybe you just don't even use the power. Maybe you got it, like, but you just don't do anything with it. That's possible too, right? You know, so you know, it's interesting. I mean,
the randomness of the deaths kind of reminds me slightly of there was a movie by Richard Kelly called The Box that was based on Richard Matheson's short story Button. It's about a box that has a button in it. If you press the button, you can get $1 million if you press the button, but some random person on Earth will die.
Well, you know, I've heard about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, it was adapted into a Twilight Zone episode, but it was also the Box, which Richard Kelly, I think it's his last film that he made. He was the guy that made Donnie Darko.
I was going to say, it sounds like it came out recently. Like
it came out in 2009. Yeah, it's I like the movie. Most people don't like it, but anyways, I like Richard Kelly as a director, but the concept where, you know, you press the button and somebody's just going to randomly die. You don't know who it is, you know, but the risk you take though with that is that it could be somebody you love.
Well, what about you? Is it also?
It could be you
as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of like what happened in this movie where you know, they turned the key and then Lois died, you know. It's like, it's the not funny thing, but the interesting thing about that too is that Hal probably should have realized when the babysitter was killed that was random too. And you know, so like who would babysitter to die like that? No one would be know, for one thing, no turned the key to begin with. That's the other thing too, no one even turned the key
when the monkey decided to kill the babysitter. So maybe you don't even need the
I think the kids had already done it earlier.
Oh, okay.
It took a while for it to
maybe
place, I think. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Al shot the fact that, because he started hearing, so he kind of had like a sort of like intuition a little bit before Bill did about it, because he could hear the music like in his mind before the chef accidentally cut her head off with the Jinsu knives, apparently, that are like fucking samurai swords here at Benihana, apparently.
I've never been to a Benihana because I've never been anywhere near where I've been.
I was talking earlier. I don't know if is there any more, because I know that they got wrapped up in the whole penny stock thing with the Wolf of Wall Street guy back in the 80s. Are they still like even around?
Still around. I'm pretty sure they're still around. Because they still they have locations. How many do they have?
That sounds good.
They have 89 stores as of 2024. So
a lot, but that's
but I don't think there are any like in Ohio. Locations. Here we go. We're spending our. Actually, there might be. Let's see here. Oh, there's one in Cleveland. So.
Yeah, let's do a road trip. We go to Benihana.
Yeah.
Wait, how we should do one of those road trips like with Ted Nivison and Eddie Burback, where we just go to every Benihana and make a video of that.
Well, like I said, there are 89 of them.
Okay. That's a little bit right. And that's worldwide. That's not just nation, right?
Yeah, there's let me see here. There's trying to see there's because like the original one is in Tokyo.
Yeah. I saw a whole video out of YouTube recently, the history of it. It's interesting.
I've watched things like that too. But yeah, there's its first restaurant out. It had some in New York and Chicago and different things like that. Yeah, so it's I guess there's looks like there were at one time like two chains of them too, like two different companies and stuff. But it looks like there's some in North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, South Asia, Southeast Asia. So yeah, we'd have to go all these different places.
Yeah, we got to save up our ad dollars from our podcast so we can.
If you want us to do that, let us know, because then we could go to Kuwait and Lebanon and Qatar and Qatar. I mean, what do you call it? Yeah.
Wait, Qatar? Is it in Qatar?
Yeah, there's one in Qatar. Yeah, there's one in Saudi Arabia. There's one in the United Arab Emirates.
I always wanted to go to Saudi Arabia. I wanted to go to Mecca, but if I can't go there, I'd at least go to Benihana. So,
it's basically the same thing, right?
It's the same pilgrimage, right? It's terrible. All right, it's blasphemous.
Yeah. Anyways, folks, we're getting off topic here, but yeah, on So this year for our All2-October, I'm wondering, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5 scares, what do you give this movie?
Oh, 1 to 5 scares?
Yeah.
Because like you said, nothing in here was like you could predict what's gonna happen. So it's not really. Like, for example, I was watching this video last night called like the horrors of Arabic YouTube or something like that. And it was talking about the era of YouTube where people were like uploading like basically like their own little horror movies, like 3-minute long a piece videos. And so one of them was this guy who was from Saudi Arabia, lived in Saudi Arabia, and he was filming these like ghost things, like where he was pretending to chase a jinn in like a really old abandoned hospital building. Oh God, it was terrible. And if you see this one, it's just constantly popping in the doorway. God, that shit right there scared me more than this. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I'd give it probably a 2, maybe 2.5 at the most. So yeah, there we go. So. Because I like the first half of the movie, but I don't know how I feel about the second half. I mean, so the thing is, it's like it had a definitive ending, had a good opening. It's kind of the middle that it was just rushed, in my opinion. So it just kind of, I don't know. It just there's not a lot that happened in this movie, and I wanted some more plot. That's just my feeling. Yeah. I know a lot of people might be disappointed in our review because I know a lot of people like this movie. I just, didn't like it as much as I wanted to, so.
I mean, yeah, it's not like, I mean, it happens sometimes, when people just don't like shit that you would hope that they would. Or
Yeah.
maybe different in it than we do, that maybe maybe they were in the right mood to watch it, and I wasn't. Maybe, other shit going on. I mean, there's movies that I think are just absolutely brilliant, and other people just don't. Like, for example, Malcolm X. I think that movie is fantastic. And there are some people who just don't like it that much. They still think the cinematography is that good. I'm like, how cinematography is good? With all the cool camera tricks they were doing with the budget that they had. They're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we just see things differently.
How could you say the cinematography in Malcolm X is bad? That's what
I heard a review from someone saying that it wasn't any good. I'm like, how are you? What are we seeing different movies? I mean, if you're talking about the Morgan Freeman one, sure. Well,
but yeah, it's like what's the? I'm trying to remember. I'm looking it up now just because I've got to defend this. The cinematographer for that movie was,
excuse me,
Ernest Dickerson, who's like one of the greatest cinematographers in history.
I know. Literally, when I read that, I was like, what the fuck?
He's done a lot of Spike Lee movies and stuff, but he's just like, he's
like, how could you watch that movie and not even like the one scene, which was actually pretty easy to do, it seemed like, but it still looked amazing, is when Malcolm is basically walking to the building where he's about to get assassinated at, and he's on like trolley, and it looks like he's just sort of like floating towards the building, like without walking, because he wasn't walking. Literally, he was on like a skateboard type thing or whatever. So that was kind of cool. He's not now more known as a director, but he did like all the early Spike Lee joints, it's like, so, and then he was like the cinematographer for Eddie Murphy's Raw. He had done like Crush Groove before that. He had done the music video for Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm saying that he's a bad cinematographer just like makes me mad. Anyway, so whoever did that I
find the article. I read it a long time ago. I don't know where I could find it now. It'd probably just make you mad if I could find it. But
no, that's okay. I mean, he was the cinematographer for Brother from Another Planet. That's a beautiful movie too. Anyway, so we're gonna end now, I think. So just for getting off topic. But anyways, folks, thanks for listening to our episode and our divergences and all that stuff too. Hope you enjoyed it. Do us a favor, go to all2ReelToo.com and check out all of our links there. We've got links to all of our social media, links to all the places where you can listen to the show if you don't like where you're listening to it now. I don't know. But anyways, so be sure to subscribe to the show, share it with your friends, give us a 5-star review wherever you can. That'd be great. Check out our TeePublic and our Patreon. There's good ways to support us there. Share the show on the social medias. Just do it up, folks. Do it up. If you don't, I may have to turn the key on this monkey I've just acquired.
Oh.
But my monkey has this little thing added in where you can just write in who you want to. Anyway, so the
no,
it doesn't. I don't have a monkey. If you'd like to buy me a monkey, it's just check out our all of our links there. There's a way to donate to the show too. Just do that. Anyways, folks, just remember that murder is bad. Okay.
It's bad. I would say it is. Yeah.
Trans lives are human lives. No human is illegal.
For that.
Empathy is good.
Agreed.
Yes. Free Palestine. Be different. Yeah. Be yourself. Remember that I love you. The monkey doesn't love you. And it's not a toy. It's not a toy. Sesame loves you. And until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2-ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.